guys, I just realized that I forgot to say something quite important in my last video, but this is very important generally, so it's quite good to make a whole video on it. A lot of people, when they're manifesting, especially if they're thinking about the law of attraction, get it in their mind that they have to be positive in order to manifest. So they feel like they always have to be in a high vibration, they can't ever feel sad. And in my last video, which if you haven't watched it, watch it, it's all about ignoring the present circumstances if they're not what you want and focusing instead on what you want. And that's not to say that if something is happening in the present circumstances that is challenging, that it's not okay to feel an emotion about that. Because a lot of people try to suppress how they're feeling, and that doesn't really work. Like, your subconscious still knows that you're not feeling happy about something or that you're feeling sad about something. And rather than allowing the emotions, which emotions are energy in motion and they move through you once you kind of surrender to them and just accept them. But the more you try to fight them, so the more you kind of go, la 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 la, I feel fine, everything's great, the more they're going to come up in your subconscious, which is why when you're manifesting, you need to work on your subconscious as well. And I have other videos about, affirmations, mental diet. I'm going to do a sleep meditation that is all about reprogramming your subconscious while you're sleeping. But I'm just wanting to make a very clear point here. You are allowed to feel emotions, you're just not meant to dwell on them and think on them. There's a difference between feeling and thinking, okay? Your thoughts are what create. So it's absolutely fine for you to feel heartbroken if something bad has happened. It's absolutely fine for you to feel angry if someone's been horrible to you. This is not about being a doormat. This is not toxic positivity. This is not, oh la 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 la, I'm not going to notice this. I'm going to be really submissive and that's why this person's going to treat me well because I'm going to be a doormat. That is not it at all. And I think a lot of people might get like that wrong when they're trying to manifest. It's not that at all. It's just not feeding things with energy, not feeding things with your thoughts. So by all means, I would encourage you, if something challenging happens, to have one day where you absolutely feel shit, you cry, you talk to your friends, you purge the emotion and you allow yourself to fully get swept up in it. Maybe try and just do that for one day, depending on what it is that's happened. I'm not talking about major grief and things like this, okay? We're talking about like interpersonal relationships or money worries or things like this. Allow yourself to dwell on it for a day. I do. In my last video, I spoke about when I was worried about my bill. I was worried for about a day, but I snapped myself out of it and I allow myself to fully think all of the fears that come up around something. In fact, I will journal them to enable myself to write an affirmation that is the opposite. So unless you know what your fear is, unless you face the shadow side, you can't really properly manifest because you need to know what those fears are in order to kind of flip them. And it doesn't matter if you have an occasional day where you're off your game and you're feeling bad, as long as it's not your dominant dwelling place in terms of your state. And I need to do a video about states, but states is like the state that you're embodying. So for example, say you were in love with a specific person and there's a third party. What I absolutely am telling you guys not to do is to constantly think about the third party as a problem, give them power, think they're better than you, think that the person must love them more than you, think that this person is there, because that's going to reinforce the idea that this person is there in the future. What you instead should do is just pretend that person doesn't really exist and focus on your vision of you and your person happy in your end scene, in your end goal. And that will shift the energies. But it's fine, of course, if you found out that someone has cheated on you and there's a third party, that for the first day you feel justifiably upset. And this is not to say that you are to blame for all of these things, but you probably have created this being more of an issue by feeding it energetically. In some way in your mind, you may have an idea, for example, that you are not chosen or you're not good enough, and that might be why you constantly, and this is especially if you constantly get into situations where people choose someone else rather than you. At some point, you have to understand that there's one person in this that is the same, and that's you. And if there's a repeat pattern, that's something you need to work on within your programming, even if it's just how you're picking people, even if you don't want to believe the spiritual side of this, just from a psychological perspective. But it is absolutely fine to feel sad sometimes. You can still manifest. I've affirmed while I'm crying, as long as you're not thinking constantly about the negatives, you're allowed to feel, and you're allowed to even think for a short amount of time. Just don't dwell, don't marinate, don't get stuck in it, don't get into that energy of like, you know, when you kind of enjoy it and it's a bit of a victim state, and we all do it, and that's not about judgment, but it's not going to help you manifest if you stay there. And it does feel comfortable, and your ego will want to keep you there because it's trying to keep you safe, but it's not going to help you manifest what you want. You're just going to manifest more of the same. What was I going to say? So allow yourself to feel. Oh, that's what I was going to say. As soon as you have pictured or had an idea of what you want or desired something or someone, how it works is we live in multiple realities, and the thing you want, the specific person and you happily together, your dream job, you and a soulmate, you are having a certain amount of money, you having a certain job, this reality exists somewhere in the universe, in another reality. So you're not gonna, as soon as you think about it, your manifestation is done. It's all about you drawing that energy towards you, but you can't undo it unless you decide you don't want it anymore. So basically, nothing you do is going to stop you getting a manifestation. I don't want you guys to be afraid that if you feel or do something wrong or don't follow a certain formula or do certain things that certain coaches tell you, you won't get your manifestation. You're manifesting all the time. Everything around you is a manifestation. Your current reality is a manifestation of your past thoughts. You're always manifesting, but all you can do is delay your manifestation when you get into that negative state or when you're focusing on the things you don't want. Think of it like an Amazon. I don't like to use Amazon, but everyone uses it. An Amazon delivery. It's coming to you, but if you're dwelling on the negatives or focusing on your current third dimensional realities, focusing on the circumstances you don't want, you're just getting it stuck in like a red light in a traffic jam. But it's going to come to you, or maybe like an orange light. Whereas when you're in the state of the wish fulfilled and you're living from the end and you're in a high vibe and you're like, I know it's done, I don't even need to worry about it, it's just going to turn up like that. But you can't stop what you're manifesting, you can only delay it. And the key to getting it quickly is to focus on what you want rather than what you don't want, and to get into the state of the wish fulfilled, feeling, how would I feel if and states are all about, how would I feel if I already had this? Who would I be? What would I be doing? What would my day be like if I was in a relationship with this person? What would my day be like if I was in a relationship with my soulmate? What would my day be like if I was a successful business person? What would my day be like if I was a famous artist? What would my day be like if I was a published author? What would my day be like if I was married and had kids? Whatever it is that you want, imagine what your day would be like and try and embody that energy and just feel how that would feel. And it's not about necessarily like buying the specific things that person would have, but that can be helpful sometimes in small ways. For example, if you were wanting to live in a house with an amazing fancy garden, maybe you would buy one of the plants that you'd like to have in your garden and have it in a pot and imagine it in your house later, something like that. You know, you can do small things to help you. If you want to be in a loving, committed relationship, maybe clearing out the closet for this person to move their stuff in or whatever, clearing space in your house, getting rid of the old stuff that energetically links you to past lovers, making space for the new ones. Stuff like this is kind of helping you get in the state. But it's more about an internal thing within your mind. And if you're wanting to get back together with a specific person, you can really think about who you used to be when you were happy with them and trying to embody that state again. But maybe even more of a happy state because you want it to be different this time. Do you see what I mean? Even if you're manifesting a specific person back, you need to be a changed version, and you're not manifesting them as that version back either. They're a whole new person. That's why you kind of have to let go of the idea of what someone is and be more open to it being a new thing, because you're reinventing yourself and them anyway. Does this make sense? But this is just a very quick video to say it's okay if you feel sad sometimes. You're not going to stop your manifestation, and if you get spiral and you start thinking about the 3D and you freak out, don't worry about it. Pick yourself off the ground the next day and get back on it. It's not going to stop anything, it's just not the desired state to manifest. But please don't get into this toxic positivity, because actually all you're going to do is suppress your negative thoughts, and they're going to come out in crazy ways through your shadow, and you're going to do crazy things. My father's a Jungian psychoanalyst. I know all about the shadow. You do not want to suppress how you're feeling, guys. It's not about that. It's about, okay, I feel this, I'm going to allow it to move through me, and I'm going to detach from it and know that better things are coming. And when you get better at manifesting, you can kind of ignore the 3D in a way that isn't toxic. But when you're starting out, you guys probably won't know what I mean by it, and I want you to understand I'm not saying you can't feel. You can feel, you're just affirming that you're going to have what you want even though you feel shit. It's like, oh, and the other thing is, you can use any circumstance that's happening to your advantage. For example, the person you're in love with starts seeing someone else. You don't tell yourself that person's so much better than me, they're gonna have kids, they're gonna get married, oh my god, like it's over, this always happens, I'm never chosen. No, you think, okay, this person, everyone in my life is here to help me for a start. I believe the universe always provides for me. I believe everything always works out for me. I trust the universe, and I know that this person has just come to show this person I'm in love with how much more I'm suited to them. They're learning some lessons with this person so that when they come to me, they're going to be the best version of themselves. Do you see what I mean? You're spinning things. It's not like you're la 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 la, no, no, no. It's like, don't feed it, don't give it too much time, but when you do think about it, give it a meaning that is better for you, that works better for what you're manifesting, that empowers you, and then stop thinking about it. Be in the present, enjoy your present, and only think about the things you want when they come up, and when they do, you're affirming or spinning it so that it's a positive thing. But you're not just living in the future, you're enjoying the moment that you're in. I hope this is making sense. Please come to me for personalized manifestation if you need it, but you can all manifest. We're manifesting all the time. I just wanted to make sure this point was clear. I will be back to do a video at some point on revision. I've mentioned states many times, but I may do another separate video about states. Affirmations and states and mental diet is like pretty much all you need to do to manifest. Scripting, revision, and visualization and stuff like that is helpful as well. I might do another video on revision, but I speak about it in my scripting video and in my video that I just did about the 3D. Anyway, I have a manifestation playlist linked in the description box below, so please check it all out. All right, much love, light, and positivity to you all. Take care.